Hello everybody, Moarhammer here, and I've got another battle report for you. This is a 2,000 point game with my Demons of Tzeentch against a kind of mixed death army, and it's a really tight game. We're playing one of the games, although the scenarios from the South Coast GT pack, so it's not a classic General book, as I'll go through that in a second. Right on to the army breakdown. So, the kind of basic list that we've been using for the entire couple of games. Got my Change Host with a lot of change. Got my Herald of Burning Chariot, he's my general. He's got the Demon Spark and phantasmal weapons. And I've got the Blue Scribes, he's just going around learning spells and stuff. And I've got the Changeling to kind of disrupt things. I quite like him, but I'm getting a bit unsure about him. I'll get onto that. Then we've got 2 unit 10 pink horrors as the battle line. A Burning Chariot because he's fast and he's shooty, and he's also my 3rd battle line. Then I've got unit 6 Screamers. I like these guys, they're fast and they're kind of hitty, especially against monsters, which could be very useful in this game. And then I've got an Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch. So, this is a picture of deployment, and as you can see, on my side, starting on the far left, I've got a Burning Chariot. Then I've got 10 horrors moving over to the right, and then my Herald of Burning Chariot. In the centre there, I've got my Lord of Change, who's kind of in the middle of the board. The point was he was within 27 inches of the Changeling, who I'll point out in a second. Then the Blue Scribes, 6 Screamers, another unit of 10 Horrors, and then my Exalted Flamer on the far right. On his side, starting on the far left again, he's got a big unit of 30 zombies, then a unit of 10 zombies. Then he's got a Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. That was a bit scary. Just in front of the unit of 10 zombies to the left there was the Changeling. You can just see him there. He deployed his Vampire on Zombie Dragon just within 3 inches of him, so he would unveil him if I gave him the first turn, which was interesting. And then he's got a unit of 6 Spirit Hosts with a Necromancer in there as well. And then just moving on to the right there, he's got a unit of 10 more zombies. Then a unit of 6 Crypt Haunters, I think? Crypt Horrors, sorry. A Crypt Haunter Infernia, whatever the character is for there. He's also got the flying one, so he's got both the winged one and the non-winged one of the Flesh Eater Court's big characters. Man, I'm bad with the names here. He's also got a Ghoul King there as well. And then to the right of the Realm Gate, he's got another unit of 10 zombies. So the mission is the Anvil of Azir from the South Coast pack. I'll put a link in the video description below to the South Coast pack, even though it's past at this point. Basically, it's there's an objective in the middle, and kind of with a sort of 12-inch bubble around that, there's 4 blue gems in the corner 12 inches away, and you have to have the most characters or leader units within that square at the end of your turn, and you scored the number of points equal to the battle round turn number. And failing that, it was the most battle line units, and that was something I forget in this game, but we'll get to that. So, like I mentioned, he deployed his. So, what's interesting is I've always liked the ability of being able to choose who goes first or second with a 1-drop army. It's really useful. The problem is with the Changeling, is you deploy him in your opponent's half, and if he deploys a character within 3 inches, he basically forces you to go first or to lose the Changeling. So I went first. I mean, I do usually anyway, but I would have actually preferred to go second against this army. But hey-oh. So I take the first turn, and I do some stuff. I do summon a Herald of Tzeentch. He summons a Bellwind Vortex, so he goes straight up there. I'm in sort of in the middle of the board. I swap the Changeling out using the Change Host for a unit of 10 pink horrors. The idea is they were tying up 10 zombies, the Vampire Lord, and a unit of Spirit Hosts. And because I had a bunch of summoning points for Blue Horrors and Brimstone Horrors, I was hoping they could tie them up for a long time and I could deal with everything else. I also swapped the Burning Chariot for the Blue Scribes, that's it, the Blue Scribes, and then the Blue Scribes shot over to the right-hand side in that middle there. So I was kind of doing a refused flank on the right-hand side to help deal with all of the big, nasty, choppy stuff on his right-hand flank. I do move the Exalted Flame and the Burning Chariot so they make sure they're within sort of just in shooting range of the units of zombies, so I need to try and get rid of some of those units. I did sacrifice D3 mortal wounds to my Burning Chariot for get +1 to hit with the damn terrain. It didn't work out very well, so I took 3 wounds from that. But, that's fine. In shooting phase, my Burning Chariot and Exalted Flamer open up on the units in question. I take 9 off one unit and 6 off another, so not too bad. Could have been a lot worse. In the shooting phase, my horrors do shoot at the zombie dragon and put a wound on it, which was hilarious. Actually, I think I put 3 wounds on with spells and that. Then, in my other spells, sorry, I missed them in the hero phase, I just kind of put a couple of wounds on some characters. I rolled badly for my spells. Hey-ho, it's alright. So in the combat phase, he attacks with everything, and he actually does really crap. He only kills a total of 5 horrors. And I use a 1 for my Destiny dice pool to bring a couple back, so that was hilarious. I don't use any of my summoning points here, because I don't need to. So we go into his first turn, and he does some stuff. He brought on some Sepulchral Stalkers on the left-hand side there, just within sort of 9 inches of the Herald on the Bailwind Vortex, so that's okay. Then on the everything else kind of moves forward. He does retreat from combat with his Spirit Host, so he doesn't need to be in there really. Some zombies get re-brought back into the fight from the banner, from the ones I killed. The other unit, when there was 1 zombie left, he failed his battle shot test and ran away, which was perfect. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of movement other than that. His zombie dragon is still tied up with the horrors, so that was fantastic. I did put Mystic Shield on the horrors, so they had an extra save, so they were pretty tanky, which is great. So we go into his combat phase. And his zombie dragon attacks first and manages to quite easily kill the rest of the pink horrors, which I can't argue with at all. So they go away and pop. They get replaced by 10 blue horrors. And these blue horrors, because I placed them, so they tie up not only the zombie dragon and the zombies, but also the spirit hosts and the big unit of 30 zombies. So if he got the double turn now, he wouldn't really be able to do much with them. So that was kind of the plan. That being said, I wasn't sure I wanted him to get that turn. So we go into the initiative roll. And I win it, and I do take it because I thought I needed it. I swap with some stuff. I bring my Screamers over to the middle and my Burning Chariots to the right-hand side. And kind of the idea was with the Screamers, I was going to try and get them over that forest and into the Zombie Dragon, because that would be a really good place to be. I do cast Infernal Gateway and some spells at the Sepulchral Stalkers, and I take one down and put a couple of wounds onto another. So that's a good start. And I also managed to assassinate the Ghoul King. So the Herald on Bailwind just shoots him straight off, which is fantastic. With the movement, then I fly over the Crypt Flayer, whatever the winged guy is on the right hand side with my Burning Chariot. Do a couple of moves from there, which is exciting. I move my Lord of Change towards Sepulchral Stalkers to try and take care of them, and I fly my Screamers over the Spirit Hosts. I did manage to make all the distance. Turns out they have quite 16 inches is quite a long way. In the shooting phase, my Burning Chariot managed to shoot straight off the Crypt Flayer, which is fantastic. And I think that was with help from the Exalted Flamer as well, but it was good to have that guy dead. In the charge phase, the Lord of Change goes into the Sepulchral Stalkers. I got Mystic Shield on me, I got +1 attack on my sword from Arcane Transformation, and also make it into here with the Screamers, so I was hoping for something good here. And I do attack here first, and they do pretty well actually. They put 10 wounds onto him, so he's down 10 now. Actually, I think they put 9 onto him, so he's down to 10, which is fantastic, so that's a really good result actually. So he's only got 3 or 4 wounds left, so yeah, brilliant. Then he attacks with his Sepulchral Stalkers, puts 2 wounds onto the Lord of Change, not too bad, so I'm not down a notch yet, which is great. And when I attack back, I kill 1 and put 2 wounds into another, so yeah, not bad show. When he attacks with whatever he attacks with, he kills Spirit Hosts, I think. He kills 4 blue horrors. And then I think something else attacks, maybe the zombies, and they kill another one. I end up losing 5 total and pop out 5 Brimstone Horrors, which is great. So they were going to keep things tied up for a while longer, was the idea. So we go into his turn. And he does some stuff. He charges all his Crypt Horrors, towards the Exalted Flamer, and he manages to summon a Khan Wraith into the box. He's kind of just behind the Crypt Horrors there. Just to give him the extra hero so he can score the objective. Because at the moment it's quite tight, and I've generally got more characters within the square than he has, so I'm doing all right with points. He drinks his chalice from his zombie dragon and actually manages to heal back like 5-6 wounds. So that really sucked. The zombie dragon's just regaining wounds at a pretty severe rate, so that wasn't good. In the charge phase, he slams his Crypt Horrors into the Exalted Flamer, and he was doomed. But he does attack, and that's the only charge he makes. So he attacks with his Zombie Dragon first against the Screamers. As you can see, it's down to 4 now, so he's healed 6 wounds that turn. And he manages to wipe out 3 of the Screamers, which was not good at all. He had re-rolling hits on, so it was no problem hitting him and then just taking them off. And because he's got Red Fury, he then piles and attacks again. And kills the remaining Screamers. Boo! So, yeah, they got eaten and only had 4 wounds to show for it, so that wasn't good. When the zombies attack, they do end up killing another 4 of the Blue Horrors, which I can't argue with too much. I attack the Lord of Change. I kill the second Sepulchral Stalker, which is fantastic. And then his other unit of zombies piles in to the Brimstone Horrors and I think kills 1. So it wasn't particularly useful. Unsurprisingly, the Crypt Horrors managed to deal with the Exalted Flamer, no problem. And then the Spirit Hosts pile in, and they do kill a couple of Brimstone Horrors, but because the remaining Blue Horrors died, I end up bringing in another unit, another 5 Brimstone Horrors, so that was fantastic. So I'm keeping these guys tied up if he gets the next turn as well. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So I'm tying up the Zombie Dragon, the Spirit Hosts, and both units of zombies, which is fantastic. So we go into the initiative roll, and he wins it, which is not the worst time in the world for him to win it, but I ideally he just doesn't win at all. So his Crypt Horrors sprint into the middle towards the Blue Scribes at the bottom in my table. His zombies on the top right kind of move towards the Burning Chariots, and the Spirit Hosts flee from combat just to kind of get into the middle. They've got Mystic Shield on them, they've got re-rolling hits and stuff, so they're pretty killy. But other than that, most of the stuff was locked in combat, which worked well for me. In the combat phase, the Brimstone Horrors get eaten by the Zombie Dragon. In the combat phase... Sorry, I'm lying to you. In the shooting phase, he kills a couple of Brimstone Horrors with the Zombie Dragon, and I put them out of 3 inches. I removed those ones, so I was hoping that that would just mean he wouldn't be able to pile in. Obviously, I totally forgot that he could then just charge me. In the charge phase, then, he charged with the Crypt Horrors into the Blue Scribes, and the Zombie Dragon into the Brimstone Horrors. The big problem here was that this actually moved him to within inside the scoring box with his hero, so yeah. So his Crypt Horrors only do 3 wounds to the Blue Scribes, which was outstanding. I was really impressed, so that was great. And over here, unsurprisingly, he gets eaten. The Brimstone Horrors get eaten, and he heals another wound, so he's down to 2 wounds. It was really tough to deal with that guy. So then we go into my turn and do some stuff. I don't think I do any swapping because there's not really much point. The Blue Scribes runs away from the combat. I cast a bunch of stuff. Everything runs away. I do manage to shoot off his Crypt Horror, his Crypt Haunter. Sorry, the hero character. And I also think I shot off his. No, I nearly killed his Necromancer, but not quite. So he's losing characters fast, which is fantastic. Other than that, I kind of just try to get in now because my plan this turn is to assassinate all his targets. So I bring the Burning Chariot and my Herald on Burning Chariot towards the middle to try and kill the Necromancer, who's in the trees on his side, and the Khan Wraith who's right in the centre. I do fire up my Demon Spark from my General to make sure I can actually do the job well. So I shoot, and I end up doing not a whole lot, and then we go into charge phase. So my Burning Chariot and the Herald smash into the respective heroes. And the Lord of Change comes into the Crypt Horrors here. I felt like he had a decent chance of doing this. He wasn't getting a death save because he wasn't in range of a hero. So I think that my Lord of Change did a fairly good shout. And given that they only did 3 wounds to the Blue Scribes, I felt like I had an alright chance of beating these guys up in combat. And that would be a really big threat neutralised. So I do go over here first. I killed 2 outright and put 3 wounds into another. So yeah, not a bad shout actually. Nearly half the unit. So I was quite happy about that. His Khan Wraith does attack. Or something attacks something, doesn't matter. my herald runs over the Khan Wraith, which is fantastic. Then he piles in to the Lord of Change with his Crypt Horrors, but does do 6 wounds to him, which was a bit nastier than I was really anticipating, so that wasn't good. Then I attack with the Burning Chariot, and I run over the Necromancer. Yeah, it wasn't much he could do about that, so that was fantastic. So we go into his turn, and yeah, I think this was initiative roll. And we go into his turn. So unfortunately, he had the Cloak of Mist of Shadows on his zombie dragon. He uses that and pops within 3 inches of the changeling, revealing him. So yeah, that wasn't good. Other than that, not a whole lot happened. He did cast a spell at the Blue Scribes. Oh no, he didn't. I'm lying. Never mind. He tried to cast some spells, but I think I dispelled them actually, so it's pretty good. His Vampire Dragon, his zombie on the Vampire Dragon shoots my Herald with his Noxious Breath attack and does 4 wounds to him, so that's pretty nasty. I could have done without that. So we go to the combat phase. Zombie Dragon attacks the Changeling and eats him, no problem. The zombies attack the Blue Scribes and do absolutely nothing. So I attack the Spirit Hosts with my General. I don't do a whole lot, to be honest. I think I maybe do a couple of wounds to one, but it's not really enough to do anything. And this combat with the Crypt Horrors against my Lord of Change. Oh, he just kills him. Really, really sad. He rolls like a bunch of 6s to wound, and they damage 3 weapons, so yeah, it wasn't good at all. So in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have charged him in. But hey-oh, live and learn. So my Burning Chariot does manage to finish off the Necromancer here, which is fantastic, so he's down another hero. And then my Blue Scribes maybe kills a zombie with his quills. So that's fine. Then he attacks with his Spirit Hosts, and he is able to kill the Herald on Chariot, which is also not good. So I lost 2 of my sort of main heroes here, which is a bit rubbish. So at this point, we're pretty much dead even on points. So I really, really needed to play the objective, and the only way I could score this turn was to get my Blue Scribes, so my 1 remaining character in the middle, and 2 of my battle line units. Obviously, my Burning Chariot's battle line, which means I can have my Horrors, my battle, and my Burning Chariot in the middle. I'd have to kill the unit of Horrors, the unit of the zombies, and that would mean that I would outnumber his battle line in the middle, and I'd score the 4 points for this turn. So I try to kill the zombies. I shoot them with my Horrors and my Burning Chariot. I bring them down to 1 model. Then I charge him with my Pink Horrors and bludgeon him to death with my slaps. So there was that at least, which is good. So we go to the initiative roll-off, and the interesting thing about this initiative roll-off was if I won it, I would have been able to score again for my turn. So I'd have scored 5 points here, taking me from 11 to 16, and he was currently on 10, so I would have gone to 16, and the maximum he could have scored then his following turn would be up to 15, which means that I would win the game. If he got the initiative, he would have been able to kill my units and score the points, taking him to 15 and leaving me on 11, and I wouldn't have been able to finish, I wouldn't have been able to catch up. So basically the entire game came down to who won this initiative roll. It was pretty tense, but he does win it, unfortunately. So there you have it. In this turn, he jumps his Vampire Dragon across, kills the Blue Scribes, shoots off the Burning Chariots, and his Spirit Hosts smug the Pink Horrors and kill all of them down to a single model. So not quite tabling me, but, basically tabling me. So there you have it. That's the end of the game. It is a loss to the Demons of Tzeentch, unfortunately. But it was a very, very tight game, and surprisingly few kind of casualties on his side. I was really kind of going for the objective more than anything, so that was quite interesting. But it was a really, really fun game. The mission is a bit of an interesting one. I totally missed the fact that you could have scored with battle line if you had equal number of heroes. So that was probably something I should have read in the packs. That was entirely my fault. Other than that, I thought everything performed pretty well. I feel like I rely on the Lord of Change in combat a bit too much. He's not that... He's very dicey because he hits on 4s with everything. You can go in and just do absolutely nothing, or you can go in and annihilate everything. But because he's only got a 4-up save with 14 wounds, he's actually not as tough to kill as you might think, especially against crypt horrors. So that was probably a bad mistake, but it was high risk, high reward. Because if my Lord of Change came out of that alive, he would have been able to start spelling stuff off as well. So it was a risk. Also, he would have been a hero that was still alive, and which would have meant that against his one hero, he would have never been able to score without killing him. So it was actually a huge thing that he died. A changeling, I'm starting to get a bit sick of, so I might actually start trying some other stuff. The issue with him is that I take like I said earlier, I take a 1-drop army to choose who goes first, and if he deploys a hero within 3 inches, he's my opponent's dictating who takes the first turn, because I cannot give him the first turn without losing my changeling. So it's a bit of a pointless task really. So I might try dropping him for something else. I've got a couple of ideas, so I'll probably end up doing that. Other than that, I think I'm preferring the Exalted Flamer to normal Flamers. He's still got a fairly decent damage output, and it is appropriately survivable for the points. So I think I'll probably end up sticking with him for a while longer as well. Other than that, this is a very good game. I hope for a rematch soon, because it's a very tough army but a really fun opponent. So we'll definitely see a rematch first, and I'll be sure to kill the zombie dragon that time. I swear it. Alright, thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again for another battle report. If you want to follow me, I'm on Twitter at More War Games, and it's all my good stuff there. So thanks very much again, and I'll see you again soon.